I'm tired of reading your silence like it's something I should know. Tired of guessing where your heart is when it doesn't even show. You hold me close in the evening, but by morning you're unsure. I'm standing in the doorway of a love without a cure. I can feel you slipping slowly, like sand inside my hands. I can't keep pretending I don't understand. If you're staying, stay completely. If you're golden, let me see. Love me or leave me, don't keep me in between. Don't give me half your heart, and you know what I mean. If you want forever, and fight for us deeply, but don't just say you need me. Love me or leave me. I'm not afraid of heartbreak, I'm afraid of this delay, of loving someone fully who's already halfway. You say you need more time, but time keeps breaking me. Every second that you hesitate is another tear I bleed. I can't build a future on a maybe and a doubt. I deserve a love that's sure, not one that fades in and out. I won't beg for something you're unsure to give. Love me or leave me, don't hold me just to stay. Don't whisper I'm not ready, then ask me not to walk away. If you see life with me, but show me completely, but don't just keep me hoping. Love me or leave me. I would've given you the world, every dream, every scar, but I can't keep losing pieces, wondering who you are. I need a love that chooses every morning without fear, not someone who only wants me and loneliness appears. If goodbye is what you're hiding, say it honestly, because staying without loving is the cruelest way to leave. Love me or leave, I'd rather cry from losing you than break from uncertainty. I'd rather cry from losing you than break from uncertainty. I'm tired of crying from losing you, then break from uncertainty. tired of reading your signs. I'd rather cry. I'd rather cry from more than you. I'm tired of breakdown, break from uncertainty. So I'm tired of reading your silence. I'm tired of reading your silence. You used to look at me like I was magic, like I was all you'd ever need. Now your eyes just pass right through me like I'm someone you don't see. We used to talk until the sunrise, now we barely say goodnight. Same two hearts inside this room, but something isn't right. I keep searching for the boy I knew, in a stranger standing in your shoes. I miss the old you, the one who held me close, the one who said forever and meant it the most. I miss the old smile that lit up every room. Now every word feels colder, like love left too soon. You're still here beside me, but you feel so far away. I don't miss who you are now, I miss the old you every day. You used to fight for every heartbeat, now you let the silence win. You used to say my name like music, now it barely leaves your lips. I replay our favorite memories like the scenes from better days, but I can't keep living in a past that slowly fades away. I try to fix what's falling through, but I can't love both sides of you. I miss the old you, the one who wouldn't leave, the one who saw my broken and still believed in me. I miss the late nights, laughing without fear. Now we're just two shadows, pretending we're still here. You're still holding my hand, but it doesn't feel the same. I don't miss loving you, I miss who you became. Maybe people change, and maybe that's the truth. Maybe we outgrew the innocence of youth, but I still ache for the way you used to say my name. Before love turned quiet, before we changed. If I close my eyes, I can almost feel the warmth of who you were before it all got real. I miss the old you, the one who chose my heart before the distance grew, before we fell just miss the old you. Maybe someday I'll understand why people change the way they do. But tonight I'll fall asleep, still missing the old you. The old you. There was no storm, no slam doors, no shattered picture frames, no screaming in the midnight, no one left to blame. Just a slow drift in the distance, like a tide pulling away. We were standing in the same room, but something didn't stay. You stopped reaching for my fingers, stopped tracing my tattoo, started saying I'm just tired, like I wouldn't notice you. No big goodbye, no final fight, just less and less of you each night. Love left quietly, didn't even make a sound. No tears crashing to the floor, no lost and found. It packed its bags in silence while we were both asleep. And by the time I felt it go, it was already out of reach. We didn't break dramatically, we just stopped trying to see the love left quietly from you only. We used to talk about forever like it had our names. Now we barely speak about tomorrow without playing blame. Your kisses turn to routine, your hugs to obligation. We became too careful, hearts avoiding confrontation. I kept hoping you would notice the fading in my eyes, but you were busy building walls out of polite goodbyes. We let the quiet fill the space till love erased itself without a trace. Love left quietly, slipped between the sheets. No dramatic last embrace, no falling to our knees. It whispered I'm exhausted and slowly disappeared. And we just let it happen, drowning in our fear. We didn't lose it violently, it died so soft, so secretly. Love left quietly. Maybe that's the cruelest part, not the pain, but how we didn't even fight first. We just don't know how. No broken glass, no closing scene, just two hearts turning cold, watching something beautiful unfold and then grow. I would've rather heard you scream, say you hated me, than feel this slow and empty kind of tragedy. Love left quietly, like it was never there, just a hollow on my side of the bed and heavy in. No last words to remember, no final kiss goodbye, just a fading of a feeling and two hearts wondering why we didn't lose it loudly. We lost it silently, and now there's nothing left of us but how love left quietly. If it had hurt more suddenly, maybe how to heal, but love left quietly, and that's what makes it real. The house still echoes with your laugh, like it doesn't know you're gone. Your coffee cup still by the sink, but the warmth had moved on. I trace the outline of your sight on the empty bed at night. Even shadows feel too loud in the absence of your light. We said forever like it was easy, like love would never leave. Now it's the silence after us, the quiet where you used to be. No more midnight calls, no more I love you, just memories haunting me. We were fire, we were young, we burned until there was no trust. Now all I hear when I close my eyes is the silence after us. Your sweater's hanging by the door, like you're coming back someday. But time has packed your voice away and taken it far from me. I still reach for your hand in dreams, but wake up holding there. I never knew a heart could ache from something not being there. We let the little cracks grow wider till love slipped through the seams. Now it's the silence after us, the space between the sheets. No more dancing in the kitchen, barefoot on tired feet. We were hope, we were enough, until we slowly turned to dust. Now every room just whispers back the silence after us. If I could press rewind to the moment we were fine, would you hold me tighter? Would you fight this time? Or were we just a story that had to end this way? Two hearts that lost the rhythm they once swore they'd never break. I still hear your goodbye in the way the wind blows through. I still feel your fingerprints on everything I do. It's the silence after us, the loudest thing I know. 1,000 unsaid apologies with nowhere left to go. We were love, we were home, we were something beautiful. Now all that's left inside my chest is quiet, so quiet. The silence after. If love could speak again, would it still choose me? Or was the silence after us always meant to be? just wanna say I'm sorry, even when I wasn't wrong. I was the last one still believing when your faith was almost gone. I memorized your every silence, learned the language of your pain, held the pieces of your breaking while mine fell like rain. And you said love was just a season, something people outgrow. But I planted all my summers in the winter of your soul. I stayed when it was heavy, I stayed when it was hard. You were halfway out the door, I was all heart. I gave you always when you only gave me sometimes. I gave you mornings, you gave me long goodbyes. I gave you my whole world, you gave me maybe I would have chosen you forever, but you couldn't choose me daily. I gave you my future, you gave me a past. I gave you always, but always didn't last. I was the one who kept the photos of the nights we couldn't sleep. You were already slowly leaving, even lying next to me. I turned your doubts into devotion, turned your fear into a flame. But love can't live on sacrifice if it's only one who's brave. You took my patience like it was endless, took my heart like it was free. But even oceans have their limits, even love has boundaries. I tried to be a shelter while you were just passing through. I gave you always when you only gave me parts. I gave you loyalty, you gave me guarded hearts. I gave you every answer, you gave me maybe I would have fought for us forever, but you couldn't fight for me daily. I gave you my softer side, you gave me broken glass. I gave you always, but always couldn't last. And maybe someday you look back at the love you let slip by. Maybe you'll see the way I stayed when everyone else said goodbye. But I can't keep pouring from an empty chest just to keep you whole. I can't keep losing pieces of me to save your soul. So I was ready for the long road, ready for the storms. You were only ever ready for the easy and the war. I gave you always, every breath, every prayer. I gave you unconditional, you gave me almost there. I gave you my forever, you gave me maybe I would have built a life with you, but you couldn't love me safely. Now I'm learning how to walk away from what I thought would last. I gave you always, and that was my mistake. I gave you always, but you never stayed. I remember every almost word, every time you almost stayed, every look that almost meant you felt the same way. I kept telling my heart, be patient, love just needs some time. but time kept moving forward, and you never crossed the line. I held on to your promises like they were written in stone, but they were only whispers that left me here alone. You said just give me one more day. I gave you years instead. I waited too long for you to love me back. I stayed too strong while we slowly cracked. I can't believe it, you finally choose, but hope can break a heart when there's nothing left to lose. I gave you every chance to belong, but I waited too long. I turned your silence into reason, made excuses in your name, told myself you were just scared that one day you would change. I was standing in the doorway with my suitcase in my hand, but I couldn't walk away from the life we never planned. You kept saying almost ready, like it was enough for me, but almost never turns into the love I need to see. You kept me hanging by a thread while I built forever in my head. I waited too long for words you never said, for a future that was only alive inside my head. I kept forgiving every truth you bent, but loving someone halfway leaves a heart half spent. I thought if I just held on, we'd finally be strong, but I waited too long. Now I see the truth so clear. Love shouldn't feel like fear. It shouldn't beg, it shouldn't bleed, it shouldn't have to plead. I was ready from the start, you were never sure, and I can't keep chasing what isn't pure. If you ever look behind and wonder where I've gone, just know I finally found the strength to stop waiting for someone. I waited too long for you to say my name, like I was your forever, not just part of your game. I waited through the tears, through every broken song, but loving you was right, the timing was wrong. I should've left when I felt it all alone, but I waited too long. And now I'm learning how to move on from the time I waited too long. You used to hold my face like I was something rare, like losing me would break you, like you truly cared. You used to say my name like it was your favorite word. Now it falls between your lips like something barely heard. I don't know when it shifted, when the warmth began to fade. But somewhere in the quiet, we slowly slipped away. I was still loving you the way we did at the start. I became the love you forgot. Somewhere between busy and tired, between maybe later and lost desire. I was the one still holding on. You were already gone. I was fighting for forever. You were moving on. Now I'm just a memory you don't talk about. I became the love you forgot. I stayed through every distance, every mood, every storm. You said you needed patience. I kept keeping you warm. I turned your cold replies into reasons in my head, made excuses for the silence, for the words you never said. I kept believing time would bring you back to me, but love doesn't return when it wants to be free. I was trying to fix us while you erased the spark. I became the love you forgot, like a song you used to play, like a promise in the dark that slowly slipped away. I was giving you my heart, you were giving me doubt. I kept building us up while you were taking out. Now I'm standing in the shadow of what we talked about. I became the love you forgot. Was I just convenient, just safe until you changed? Did forever feel too heavy, so you let it break? I would've stayed through anything, through fear, through every flaw, but you can't make someone remember what they don't want anymore. Soft breakdown, now I see it clearly. Love shouldn't feel this small. It shouldn't feel like faded, like nothing at all. I became the love you forgot, the heart you left behind, the one who still believed in us. Why you changed your mind? I gave you every reason to never walk away, but you forgot the way you loved me somewhere along the way. Now I'm learning how to heal without you around, from being the love you forgot. And maybe someday you'll remember what you lost, but I won't be waiting. We don't talk the way we used to. Your eyes don't search for mine. We sit across the table, but there's miles between the lines. You don't reach across the pillow, you don't pull me to your chest. You say that nothing's different, but I can feel the rest. Your kisses feel like habit, your touch feels unsure. I'm standing in the same love, but it doesn't feel secure. Tell me when the fire changed, tell me what we're fighting for. Love me like before, like I'm all you see, like the world goes quiet when you're close to me. you're scared I might walk out the door. Don't love me halfway, love me like before. Don't let us fade into something unsure. If you still want my heart, love me like before. We used to laugh for no reason, dance barefoot in the dark. Now we barely say goodnight without a guarded heart. I miss the way you whisper that I was your always. Now forever sounds like silence in the words you don't say. I'm not asking for perfection, just the love we knew, the version of your heartbeat that beats so loud and true. If there's still a spark inside, don't let it disappear. Love me like before, like you're proud I'm yours, like you cross every ocean just to reach my shore. Touch me like I'm fragile, like I'm worth fighting for. Don't let us turn to strangers. Love me like before. Was it something that I missed? Did we slowly let it slip? Or did comfort turn to distance with every careless kiss? I don't wanna lose you, but I can't keep begging for the love you gave so freely once before. If you still see forever when you look at me, then show me in your actions, not just memories. Love me like before, like I'm your safe place, like you can't imagine anyone in my place. Fight for me like you did when you first knocked on my door. Don't let this be the ending. Love me like before. If there's still a chance for us, don't ignore. Don't just say you love me. Love me like before, or let me go if you can't anymore. We were talking about the future like it had our names, drawing little hearts and window pane, rain, rain. You said, baby, nothing's gonna change, but forever started slipping through the cracks that day. I still remember how your hand fit mine, like two broken pieces perfectly aligned. We were a fight trying to outrun time. Didn't know love could fade so quietly. We were so close to forever. I could almost taste the light, but almost doesn't hold you in the middle of the night. We were almost forever, almost meant to be, almost waking up together, almost you and me. We had all the promises written in the stars, but almost lasts a moment and forever breaks your heart. Now your side of the bed is cold as truth, silence screaming louder than we used to. Your picture still lives in did forever scare you too? We were one step from always, one breath from I do. But one step can be miles when I'm not next to you. We were almost forever, almost meant to be, almost waking up together, almost you and me. We had all the promises written in the stars, but almost lasts a moment and forever breaks your heart. Maybe in another lifetime we don't let go so soon. Maybe in another story we make it to June. But in this one I'm just learning how to live with the scar of loving you deeply, but not loving you far. I still whisper your name like it's coming back someday, but echoes don't answer, they just slowly fade away. We were almost forever, so close I could see the house and the children, the life we could be. Now I hold on to memories like they're all that we are. We were almost forever, but almost still far. Almost forever, still feels like forever to my heart. You said I was your safe place, your home when the world went wrong. I memorized the way your heart breaks and tried to make you strong. You told me I was different, not like the ones before, but now I see the truth in it. I was just something you were looking for. You were my forever after. I was just a page you turned. You closed the book so quickly while my whole world burned. I was just a chapter in your story. I'm moving on. You were my whole novel, the place my heart belonged. You read me like a memory, then left me in the dark. I was just a chapter, but you were my whole heart. I stayed up counting promises like they were constellations, believing every always was more than conversation. You said you needed healing, I gave you all of me, but when your wound stopped bleeding, you didn't need my love to breathe. You learned what love felt like in the shelter of my arms, then walked into your sunlight while I stayed in the storm. I was just a chapter in your story of moving on. You were my whole novel, the place my heart belonged. You read me like a memory, then left me in the dark. I was just a chapter, but you were my whole heart. Did you ever rewrite the lines where I said I'd while I was begging you to stay. I was just a chapter, easy to replace, but you were every sentence I still can't erase. I was just a chapter in your unfinished dream, but you were every future I could ever see. You closed the book between us like it didn't leave a scar. I was just a chapter, but you were my whole heart. Maybe someday you'll remember the love I tried to start. You called it just a chapter. I called it my whole heart. We didn't shatter all at once, no lightning, no goodbye, just tiny cracks and quiet nights I didn't see in time. You stopped telling me your secrets, stopped reaching for my hand. We were still standing side by side, but I didn't understand. It wasn't one big moment that pulled you far from me. It was 1,000 little distances I chose not to see. I thought love could fix the fractures if I just held on tight. I lost you in pieces, bit by bit, day by day. Silence in the space between our kisses. It wasn't one goodbye. I lost you in pieces. You used to call me every hour. Now hours turn to days. You used to fight to keep us close. Now you just walk away. I kept sweeping up the fragments of promises we made, trying to glue together the love that slowly frayed. But you can't rebuild a heart when only one believes. You can't stop someone from leaving if they've already let you leave. I was loving you completely while you were fading out of sight. I lost you in pieces, in the little things that change, in the warmth that slowly cooled, in the comfort that felt strange. I lost you in routine and forgotten wishes. It wasn't one big ending. I lost you in pieces. Now I replay the warning signs, the nights you turned away, the I'm just tired explanations that meant you wouldn't stay. I wish you would have broken me with one clean cut and truth. Instead you let me hope while you slipped out of you. If love died Does it hurt more in the end when you don't even notice you're losing your best friend? I lost you in pieces in every almost touch, in every fading heartbeat that didn't fight enough. I lost you in patience and unanswered wishes. It wasn't one loud moment, just quiet little distances. And now I'm holding what's left of me, trying to make sense of this. I didn't lose you all at once, I lost you in pieces. And the hardest part to live with is I felt it happening, but I stayed. We started like a fairy tale, with sparks in every glance. Two hearts leaning closer, giving love a chance. You said I was your always, said we never fall apart, but forever felt so fragile from the very start. We wrote our names and promises in ink that couldn't stay. I was reading every chapter while you turned the page. I thought we were the whole thing, but I was loving for two. We were half of a love story, missing the other side. I was all and you were unsure, with nowhere left to hide. I gave you all my chapters, you left before the end. Now I'm stuck with empty pages and a broken pen. We were almost something holy, but not enough to hold me. Just half of a love story. I kept waiting for the moment you'd finally choose to stay, but you were always halfway, with one foot walking away. Your kisses feel like question marks, your touch felt incomplete. I was building us a future, you were planning your retreat. I tried to make the pieces fit, tried to make it right, but you can't force the happy ending if it's only one who fights. I was writing ever after, you were erasing me. We were half of a love story, beautiful but flawed. Two hearts out of rhythm, trying to apply. stars feel torn? Why was I still fighting when you were already gone? We were half of a love story, a dream without an end. What if in the silence where your voice used to blend, I gave you all my heartbeats, you gave me broken parts. Now I'm learning how to live with half of my own heart. We were almost everything, but not enough to carry just half of a love story. And the hardest truth to face is half the love still hurts completely. You traced forever on my skin like it was carved in stone. Said I never have to fear being left alone. You looked at me like I was home, like I was safe in your arms. Swore no matter what would come, you'd shield me from the harm. We built our dreams on whispered nights, on pinky swears and rings. I held your words like they were true, like unbreakable things. You said I'll never let you go, so tell me what changed. You promised forever, like it would never end, like I was your always, your lover and best friend. You promised forever with stars in your eyes. Now I'm standing here alone under broken skies. How do I believe in love when it hurts this way? You promised forever, but you didn't stay. Replay every memory, searching for the crack, trying to find a moment we couldn't get back. Was it something I didn't see, something I ignored? Or did forever start fading the second you got bored? I kept holding on to hope like it was still alive, but hope can't keep a heart from breaking over time. You used to say my name like it meant eternity. You promised forever when we were 17. Said nothing in this world could come between. You promised forever with no doubt, no fear. Now forever feels like it was never here. How do I unhear the words you swore were true? You promised forever, and I believed you. If forever was a lie, why did it feel so real? Why did you hold me close like you meant every feel? I would've stayed through storms, through every tear we cried. But forever shouldn't disappear when things get hard to try. I still hear your voice at night saying it's you and me, but forever turned to silence where your love used to be. You promised forever, like time away. If I ever love again, I'll be careful what I say, because you promised forever, and forever didn't stay. We met between the what ifs and the almost. Two fragile hearts afraid to get too close. You held my hand like you were testing fate, like love was something we could hesitate. You smiled at me like I was home that night, but left the door half open to the light. You said, let's see where this could go someday, but someday never came. It slipped away. I gave you all the parts I couldn't hide. You gave me hope, but never chose a side. We were a maybe, never a sure thing, half of a promise without a rim. Caught in between saying goodbye, living on words like we could try. I was your almost, you were my baby, but love don't grow in a maybe. Now all that's left of you and me is what we could have done, maybe. You pulled me close and you felt alone, but pushed me back when your fear had grown. I memorized the way you'd say my name, like it meant more than just a game. I waited for you to finally see that I was all you'd ever need, but I was loving you brave and true while you were loving me halfway through. I'll build forever in my mind while you kept one foot out the line. We were a maybe, never a plan. You held my heart but not my hand, stuck in the space of black and white, not wrong enough to leave not right. I was your almost, you were my crazy, but hearts get tired of being baby. Now all that's left of you and me is broken dreams and could have been. If love is fire, ours was smoke, burning slow until it broke. We danced around the truth we knew. I wanted us, you wanted to, and I still hear you say my name like it didn't come with pain. But silence answers me these days, where your I love you used to stay. Soft breakdown, maybe in another life you would have stayed, you would have tried. Maybe in another time you would have been forever mine. We were maybe, that's all will be, a faded page in memory. Almost lovers, almost fade, almost strong enough to stay. I was ready, you were afraid, and love got lost in the words we never said. used to say I was your answer, like I was heaven sent. Now I'm just a question of where the good times went. I gave you all my patience, every breath I had to spare. But somehow in silence I started disappearing there. I tried to be a comfort, tried to be a light, but loving you felt lonely almost every night. Tell me where I fell apart, tell me what I couldn't do. Wasn't I enough? Did I not love you right? I gave you all my days and every sleepless night. I gave you my forever, you gave me giving up. Now I'm left here wondering why I wasn't enough. Was my heart too open? Was my love too much? Tell me why you walked away when I gave you all my love. I changed the way I talk, changed the way I dress, try to be the version you would love the best. I held back my own tears so you wouldn't feel the weight, but you were drifting further while I begged you just to stay. I blame myself for everything that slowly turned around. I thought if I just tried harder you'd finally hold on, but love shouldn't feel like proving. You deserve to be chosen. Wasn't I enough? Did I miss a sign? Was I just a placeholder waiting in your line? I gave you all my softness, you called it being weak. Now I'm learning how to stand on the strength you couldn't see. Was my heart too honest? Was my trust too tough? Tell me why you let me go when I gave you all my love. Maybe it was never me, maybe I was strong, maybe you just needed something. I wasn't wrong, because real love doesn't leave when things get hard. It doesn't make you feel like you're falling apart. I'm tired of replaying every word you said, trying to find the flaw inside my head. I was more than enough, I just loved you wrong. I loved someone who couldn't love me back as strong. I gave you my whole heart, you only needed parts. Now I'm picking up the pieces of these shattered thoughts. I wasn't too little, my love wasn't rough. You just couldn't hold all the love I gave, and that was enough. Maybe someday I'll believe I was never the problem. I was just loving someone who could who stayed up waiting, watching headlights pass the street. You were somewhere chasing freedom while I was losing sleep. I memorized your every mood swing, learned the rhythm of your pain, tried to be your calm in chaos while you danced out in the rain. I kept holding conversations you never tried to start. It felt like I was loving with two halves of one heart. I was building something steady, you were barely standing still. It was one-sided always, me reaching, you pulling away, me saying we'll be okay, you with nothing to say. I gave you every sunrise, you gave me long goodbyes. I carried all the weight of us while you just let it slide. I was all in completely, you were gone already. It was one-sided always. You called me when you felt alone, like I was your safe place. But when your world was shining bright, you didn't need my face. I made excuses for your distance, turned your silence into grace. But loving someone halfway is a losing kind of race. I told myself you'd wake up and finally see my worth, but you were comfortable with me loving you first. I thought if I just loved you harder, you would love me back. It was one-sided always, me fighting for the flame, you watching it grow weak, girl, while I took all the blame. I gave you my forever, you gave me we'll see. I tried to make you choose me, you never chose me. I was drowning slowly, trying to save what wasn't ready. It was one-sided always. Oh, love shouldn't feel like begging, shouldn't feel this small, shouldn't feel like screaming at a silent wall. I deserve a heart that beats the same way mine does, not someone who only loves when it's convenient enough. So if I walk away tonight, it's not because I don't care, it's because I'm tired of loving someone who isn't there. It was one-sided always, me hoping you unsure, me giving unconditional, you keep in the door. I gave you all my pieces, you gave me empty space. I kept trying to fix us while you erased. Now I'm finally choosing me over something unsteady. It was one-sided always, but I won't be anymore. I was loving for two, now I'm learning how to love for me. your hands were somewhere else, like you were already walking away from what we felt. Your kisses lost their meaning, your I love you lost its weight. I was trying to hold us steady while you were sealing fate. You stopped telling me your secrets, stopped reaching out at night. I was still fighting for the day, right? You had given up the fight. I didn't see the moment, but I felt the hurt. You let go first, even before goodbye. Stop choosing me while I was still trying. I was holding on to every broken word, but love can't survive when it's one-sided and bloody. You walked away slowly without saying it hurts. We both fell apart, but you let go first. You were still lying beside me, but already far away. Your body stayed in the room, your heart had gone astray. I kept asking what was wrong, you kept saying I'm just tired, but tired doesn't look like a love that's expired. I would've stayed through storms, through every fear and curse, but I can't keep holding when I'm the only one who hurts. I was trying to fix what you had already left behind. You let go first, long before the end. You stopped being my love, or stopped being my friend. I was begging for answers, you were closing the door. I thought we were healing, you were leaving for sure. We both said forever, but forever reversed. I didn't leave you, you let go first. And maybe that's the hardest part, knowing I gave my all while you were halfway gone, watching us slowly fall. If I had known you were fading, I would've saved my heart, but I was loving fully while you were falling apart. Soft breakdown, now I replay every moment, trying to find a shift. The second that your heart started to drift, you let go first, before the tears began, before the final silence, before I understood the plan. I was holding on to hope, you were letting go of us. I thought we were just hurting, but you had lost your trust. And now I'm standing here alone, feeling the worst, because I didn't leave you. You let go first. I would've stayed forever if you hadn't already left. I smiled when they asked about you. Said, yeah, we're doing fine. But every time I said those words, it felt like crossing the line. I learned to hide the shaking in the middle of the night. Press my pillow to my chest so no one heard me cry. You never saw the breaking behind my quiet face. I carried all the heavy while you drifted away. away. I didn't wanna lose you, so I swallowed every tear. I cried in secret so you wouldn't see how much your silence was killing me. I held it together while falling apart, smiling in public, breaking in the dark. You thought I was strong, but I was weak with regret. I cried in secret for a love you forget. I told myself you loved me, you were just afraid. Made excuses for the distance, for every plan you delayed. I kept my voice from trembling when you pulled away. I told my friends I understood when you forgot my birthday. I learned to breathe through heartbreak without making a sound. I became so good at hiding, I almost drowned. I was losing you slowly, but I stayed anyway. I cried in secret behind a locked door while you were sleeping like nothing was wrong before. I wiped my tears before you turned around, pretended I was steady while hitting the ground. You thought I was fine, but you never checked. I cried in secret for the love you neglect. Maybe if I had screamed, maybe if I had fought, you would've noticed the pain that you caused. But I was scared that honesty would push you away, so I kept my heartbreak hidden day after day. Soft breakdown, now the silence is louder. Now the truth is clear, I was crying alone even when you were here. I cried in secret for nights on end, for the lover I lost and the friend I pretend. I broke so quietly, you never knew how many tears fell because of you. You thought love was easy, you never saw the cost. I cried in secret while we were already lost. And the saddest part is you never once asked why my eyes were red. And the saddest part is you never once asked why my eyes were red. We said we'd never fall apart, said we were strong enough, but I was the only one still fighting for our love. You stopped trying little by little, stopped meeting me halfway. I kept pulling us together while you drifted away. I memorized your distance like it was my fault somehow. Tried to fix what you had broken, but you weren't with me now. I was carrying the weight of two while you let your hands slip through. I held on alone to a love already gone. I kept saying we're okay when I knew something was wrong. I was holding the pieces while you were letting go. I stayed through every storm. You didn't wanna know. I thought if I loved you stronger, we'd find our way back home. But I was fighting for us. I held on alone. I defended you to everyone, even when you made me cry. I told myself you would change if I just gave it time. I swallowed every warning, ignored the truth I saw, because letting go of you felt worse than any flaw. I stayed up praying quietly that you come back to me, but you were already gone, even physically. I thought love meant staying, no matter what it cost. I held on alone through silence and regret, through nights you didn't call, through tears you won't admit. I was building us a future, you were packing up the past. I thought if I stay patient, forever will last. But forever doesn't happen when only one is strong. I was loving for two. I held on alone. Now I see it clearly. Love shouldn't feel this small. It shouldn't feel like begging at a closed off wall. I deserve someone who chooses me each day, not someone who slowly pushes me away. If I walk away tonight, it's not because I don't care. It's because I finally see you were never really there. I'm all alone while you're losing your grip. I was drowning in hope while you let it slip. I gave you my whole heart, you gave me a stone. I stayed through the breaking, but I broke on my own. Now I'm learning to let go of what I can't control. I was loving for two. I held on, and loving some should never feel like loving alone. You said we were just going through a phase that would pass with time, but every day I felt you slip further from what was mine. You stopped looking in my eyes, stopped saying what you feel. I kept pretending not to see the truth that was too real. Counted every maybe like it was something strong, but deep inside I knew we'd been breaking all along. You were slowly walking out while I was begging you to stay. I held on alone to a love that wasn't there. I kept fighting for your heart, but you didn't seem to care. I built us up in my mind while you let us fall. I was screaming on the inside, but you didn't hear it save us if I just held on. But I was loving by myself, I held on alone. I told myself you needed space, that you were just confused. But space kept getting wider, and I was the one you lose. You stopped reaching for my hand like it burned instead of healed. I kept offering my heart while yours was slowly sealed. I tried to be your everything, your comfort and your home. But you can't warm my heart that's already cold as stone. I gave you every reason, but you gave me doubt. I held on alone through the silence in our room, through the distance in your touch, through the love that stopped too soon. I kept hoping you'd come back to the way we used to be, but you were already gone, even lying next to me. I thought if I stay strong, we find where we went wrong. But I was loving without you, I held on alone. Now I see the truth clearly. Love shouldn't feel this small. It shouldn't feel like begging at an empty wall. I was carrying us both till my arms gave out. You can't fix it broken, when only one has doubt. Soft breaking one day you realize what I gave was real. But I can't keep bleeding just so you can feel. I held on alone when I should've let you go. I kept watering a garden that refused to grow. I gave you every piece of me till there was nothing left. Now I'm learning how to breathe with this ache inside my chest. Love takes two hearts to make it strong. I finally held on alone, and loving someone you should never meet, losing yourself.